Hi, I'm Nicole Kemper. I'm a writer, actor, and filmmaker living in Atlanta, Georgia. This is 50 Foot Woman, and I have committed to shooting at least one roll of motion picture film per month. When I first started shooting with motion picture film last year, the first things that I was thinking about was where can I get the film? Where can I get it developed and scanned? And basically, like, how much is it going to cost to support my habit every month? And I sort of had some places that I already knew of, but I began to do a lot of research on like exactly what's out there. What, are there different places offering different film stocks? Is there a way to order different services from different places and lower the cost? And so I did a lot of research. I had a lot of lists. I did a lot of calculations. And so I thought I'd do a little video about a couple of my go-to places and a breakdown of how much it costs to purchase film, get that film developed, and then get it scanned to some kind of digital format so that you can edit your film, so that you don't have to go through doing all the research and opening up all the Google tabs that I did. Now, this is by no means a comprehensive list. These are just a couple of places that are kind of my go-to places. There are lots of places, actually like more than you would think, that develop Super 8 film. I'm also going to talk a little bit about Standard 8 or Double 8 film. And the places that I'm focusing on are US-based places because that's where I live. Let me just say that each one of the places that I'm going to mention today, I have gotten film developed and scanned by all three of them, and I'm very happy with the results. I'm not going to really assess the quality of each of them because they all are really great. So any one of these places that you choose are going to provide you with really beautiful film transfers. And so really they're just like some other factors that you may want to consider, including cost and like how long it's going to take for the film to get back and that sort of thing. I also want to say that these numbers do not include shipping. Okay, so let's start with the big guy first, and that is Pro 8mm. Pro 8mm has been in the game for a long time. They used to be called Super 8 Sound way back in the early 1970s, and they have sort of withstood the test of time. They've really got their whole operation down to really like efficient and sort of clear workflow. So first of all, let's talk about purchasing film from Pro 8. It is $68 to buy the film and processing. They don't really sell the film separately. So basically you purchase the cartridge of Super 8 from Pro 8mm. And then once you're done with the cartridge, you set it back and they process it. If you can afford it up front, you can also roll in the scanning into that as well. So to purchase, develop, and scan a cartridge of Super 8 film from Pro 8mm, that's going to be $88. That's for the HD scan. So your standard like high definition scan, and also that's going to be 18 frames per second. So if you're wanting something scanned in 24 frames per second, you're going to kind of have to go to the next tier up, and they have multiple tiers. I'm not going to get into the upper end tiers, so I'm really just going to cover like, do you want it scanned in HD? Do you want it scanned at 2K? 2K is kind of the highest I'm going to go for this video, but they've certainly got higher tiers than that. If you're wanting the 2K scans, or if you have footage that is 24 frames per second, that's going to run you about $108. Now, you can purchase the film and processing separately, and then once you send it back for processing, you can also add a scan onto that. It is just going to be cheaper if you package all three at the same time. You can save a little bit on that 2K scan if you send them a hard drive as opposed to having them upload your files. Pro 8mm is fast, they're efficient. The turnaround time is typically about a week. Pro 8 also has film stocks that you can't get anywhere else, such as a 250D and a 200 speed black and white negative. So to sum up, if you're going to roll the film, processing, and scanning all into one, that's going to run you about $88 to $108 a cartridge. Okay, let's talk about the Film Photography Project. Film Photography Project sells film, they sell movie film, they sell still film. They are really big on education. That's one really important thing to them is they've got a podcast, they've got a YouTube channel. When you purchase any film or get your film processed or scanned by Film Photography Project, you're going to get back all these notes and stuff where they're kind of trying to explain to you a bit about the process or some things that you might know or things to look out for. It really feels to me like Film Photography Project goes out of their way to make sure that especially new filmmakers are learning the process as they go. The other thing about Film Photography Project is that they carry a lot of obscure or, sort of I don't want to, they're not dying, but lesser used film formats. So in addition to Super 8 film, they also carry standard 8 or double 8 film, which is something that I'm going to get into a little bit more deeply in another video. But instead of being on cartridges, standard 8 or double 8 film is on a spool. So let's talk about Super 8 film first. Just like with Pro 8mm, you can kind of purchase things like a la carte, or you can roll them into like a bundle. And if you roll them into a bundle, you are going to save more money in the long run. A cartridge of Super 8 film from Film Photography Project is going to run you about $36 a roll. And at $36 a cartridge, I'm really mostly talking about negative stocks. Your reversal stocks like Ektachrome are going to be more expensive. And so I would say like reversal stock is going to cost you more in like the $69 range. If you're just developing, that is going to run you about $65. And if you are, again, a la carte adding scanning on top of that, that's going to hit you at about $101 per roll. If you bundle the film, the processing, and the scanning, that's going to run you about $91, which will save you about $10. Those scans are going to be HD. If you want them in 4K, then you will have to purchase the resolution upgrade, which is an extra $5. And that brings us to about 96 to 106. So depending on whether you're having it scanned in HD or 2K, or if you're bundling it, having the film processing and scanning is going to run you about somewhere between $91 and $106 a roll. You do have to send your own hard drive. They do not upload files, and turnaround time is going to be about 4 to 6 weeks. Okay, so let's talk about standard 8 or double 8. For a 25-foot spool of standard 8mm film, that's going to be about $26 a roll. If you are going for like a reversal stock like Ektachrome, that's going to be more like $69 a roll. Once you have shot your film, you can send it back and have it processed and scanned for $55 a roll. Or if you want those 2K scans, $60 a roll. Just like with the Super 8 film, it saves you if you bundle the film processing and scanning all at once. In the end, depending on what film stock you buy or what type of scans you're getting or whether you bundle it, you're looking at about $79 to $115 a roll if you're going through the Film Photography Project. And of course, there's that 4 to 6 week turnaround. So if you're wanting your stuff back fast, Film Photography Project is probably not going to be the way to go. They're a small film team devoted to this format, but they're not going to get your work back really quickly. So you just have to be patient with that. You just want to build in that extra time for that film to come back to you. Okay, and lastly, let's talk about Negativland. Negativland does not sell film stocks, but they do process and scan. And their turnaround time is about 1 week. To get your film scanned and processed at Negativland, you're looking about $55 a cartridge. And that is a 2K scan. So there's not an upcharge for that. It's just $55 a cartridge for the 2K scan. So one thing that I do if I'm trying to save money is sometimes I'll buy my film from Film Photography Project, or I've also bought my film from Cinestill before. I was able to get a really good deal on some 500T. But generally speaking, Film Photography Project is one of the lower prices I've seen. So you're looking at $36 a cartridge, and then if you send it over to Negativland for processing and scanning, that's going to be $55 a cartridge, which brings us to a grand total of $91 a cartridge. Just like with the film photography project, you do have to provide a hard drive, and so you send that off to Negative Land when you send your cartridge of film to be developed. Whew, okay, let's hit those numbers one more time. So, so for Pro 8mm, you're looking at anywhere between $88 and $108 per cartridge. If you're going through Film Photography Project, for Super 8, you're looking at $91 to $106 a cartridge. If you're going with Double 8 or Standard 8, you're looking at $79 to $115 a cartridge. And if you're going through Negative Land, if you buy your film somewhere else and then have it processed and scanned by Negative Land, you could be looking at as low as $91 a cartridge. As for me, I kind of bounce around between these three. They're at different times. I have projects with different needs, or certain film stocks are only available from certain places. And just generally, I like to support all three of these businesses. I want them to thrive. I want them to stick around. And so I kind of bounce between the three, supporting each one of them with my business whenever I can. Okay, so that's it for this video. If you're feeling overwhelmed with where to purchase film, where to get it scanned, where to get it processed, I hope this video has helped you, maybe helped narrow down your choices a little bit. If you like this video, I hope that you'll stick around by subscribing to the channel. If you have enjoyed this and you want a little bit more, I also have a blog on Substack where it's sort of like a diary of sorts, where I'm kind of talking about my process. I share these videos, and I also share some of my still photography and photo walks and things like that. The link to my Substack is below in the description of this video. So that's it for this week's video. Plan ahead, support your friendly neighborhood film lab, and let's shoot more film, you guys.